Portugal kick off their World Cup campaign up against Ghana. Will Cristiano Ronaldo finally get his hands on this bad boy? We'll take a look at that and more with an expert next. That's right, folks, Batman's Game with another match. That's right, folks, Batman's Game with another World Cup Rivals video. Today we're chatting with a Portuguese fan, or expert, should I say, to talk about all things Portugal-Ghana, and we'll get to that in just one second. If you know where you've been, smash your subscribe button, bow to all things Rovers related. What else do we got? Portuguese football related, World Cup related. We got it all here, boys. Under one rooski. Of course, make sure you smash your subscribe, your one-stop shop for Rovers and World Cup content right here. And of course, if you want to be on the show, we've also got a phone-in show each and every one of the days of the World Cup. In fact, even the day before. In fact, it might already be happening. So, of course, get involved with it. Check out the links down below, Twitter, Facebook, all that kind of stuff. And let's get chatting, of course, with a Portuguese maestro. So, of course, for my small corner of the YouTube universe, telling me name, where you're calling me from, and what makes you a Portuguese expert.
Hey, yeah, I'm Nathan Moats. I'm the lead Seleção correspondent for the website Portugal.net, which features all the leading news and information on the Portuguese national team, but also Portuguese club teams and players all over the world in English. And my interest in that revolves mostly around the Seleção, but I also follow all the top players in European leagues. And there's quite a diversity of them now, which wasn't so much the case when I first got into this line of work about 15 years ago.
Wow, yeah, it's definitely football is changing rapidly all over the place. But of course, as Portugal kick off their World Cup campaign in the next few days, what are your feelings for Portugal heading into this opening match against Ghana?
So, based on Portugal's recent performances, I don't think the team that we can look at it any other way but as a must-win for Portugal, given their next two opponents, which I think will give them a lot more problems. So, of the three, in my opinion, and with all due respect, I think Ghana are probably in the most inconsistent form right now, which is a little bit different than say maybe about a decade ago when they performed really well in some national tournaments. They're going kind of through a recycling phase. So I think Portugal are going to want to come out very strong in this match. They're going to need to win this match. If they don't win this match, I think there's going to be some real complications that may result in them not even getting out of the group stage. But on paper, look good. This is probably the best squad Portugal had brought to a World Cup since 2006, which was at the end of kind of their golden era. That tournament, they went to the semifinals in Germany, getting knocked out by France, Zinedine Zidane's France. So I think they have a good chance, theoretically, to do well in this tournament. It's going to come down to tactics, and it's going to come down to injuries and luck, which are huge shapers of World Cup tournament outcome. But I like the odds to progress from this group tentatively. But a lot of things have to go right for us.
Yeah, of course, and it is for an outsider point of view. This group, as you were talking now, I was thinking about Ghana. There's a lot of old faces, and there are a lot of weaknesses in there that I didn't really think about. But Portugal probably definitely in the top two. And of course, a lot of people will be picking them number one. But just how far can Portugal go in this year's World Cup?
So I think that really depends on where they end up in this group. I think if they win this group, they'll play the second place team from, I think it's Group G, which is the Brazil, Serbia, Switzerland group. I think that opponent would probably be Serbia, in my opinion. So that's going to be a difficult contest given Portugal's recent history with Serbia. For those who don't know, Serbia were the opponent responsible for Portugal having to go to the playoff to qualify for this tournament, beating Portugal 2-1 in Lisbon last year. So that would be a gimme. So I feel like this team, just based on how we're playing with the manager who has some kind of archaic tactics, the best we could probably hope maybe a quarterfinal appearance. And that's if we finish top of our group and play Serbia. If we finish second and play Brazil, I think that's a bridge too far for this squad.
Yeah, they are looking quite tasty at the moment heading into this. But let's, and of course, everyone's primary focus for Portugal is Ronaldo, and of course he's in the spotlight today, actually. But we'll skip that for the time being. But if we remove him from this team, I want another POV, a point of view. Who's the guy who's going to excite us the most for Portugal in this year's World Cup?
That's what all the supporters are wondering too. Honestly, there's certainly some players who you would like to think could make this a advertising window for themselves. The name that comes to the top for me is Rafael Leao from AC Milan. He's been in good form all season. He scored a goal, I think it was last night. He's kind of more of a wing hybrid, secondary striker type young guy, but just having broken into the Seleção at senior level, he has yet to really cement performances for the senior team. So it's a little bit difficult to know whether he's going to be able to play consistently in this tournament. Bernardo Silva is in the prime of his career for Manchester City, and depending on where he plays in this team, whether he's a central midfielder or a winger, I think will affect, how well he'll ultimately perform in the tournament. But he's definitely one that's going to be a really important player for us. And then when you look back on the defensive line, João Cancelo, who plays basically wherever he wants for Manchester City, is going to be influencing proceedings from his right back position. And I would add that his compatriot on the left side of defense, Nuno Mendes, for PSG, is also an important force for Portugal, not only in defending attacks, but in making them happen as well. So those are a few players that really this team is littered with talent. And one of the main topics of conversation is how that talent will be assembled into a cohesive unit and maybe give one or two of the players a chance to really dominate this tournament.
Yeah, it does sound exciting as we look through the depth of that of Portugal. But if we switch focus now and have a look at your opposition for this game, what concerns you the most from Ghana?
I think Portugal have struggled with teams that have a hard-running, hard-working, and physical style of play. I feel that Ghana will exhaust this team a little bit. We have been a little bit ponderous in the way that we distribute the ball. I think Ghana will be looking to capitalize on those opportunities. We also struggle in situations where we have the bulk of the possession. So I think in this game, unlike the other group games that we'll be playing, we'll have a little bit more of the possession. I think that'll be a little bit more difficult for us. We struggle with that, knowing how to break down kind of a more stubborn defense, giving the other side the opportunity to counterattack at speed. And I think that'll be kind of the dynamic that I'm a little bit wary of in this match. Of course, when you look at Ghana from top to bottom, they don't have a lot of players in great form at the moment. But I think those are the type of teams that often surprise Portugal. And so I think that would be, kind of going into this match, it being, in my opinion, a must-win. We have to win. That's a lot of pressure on this team right off the bat. And I think Ghana will know that. I think they will be adapted to that and will be ready to hit us on the counter and create a lot of frustrations for us.
Yeah, of course. Now let's take a little look at the team itself heading into this. I don't know how to approach this. Should we go with your team or what you think will go? Well, let's go with what you think. What will you think the starting 11 will be for Portugal versus Ghana?
Yeah, so I think we're probably going to be in a 4-3-3 base formation. Fernando Santos, the Portuguese manager, has favored recently a look with two defensive midfielders and one more creative type. So we'll start from goalkeeper, though. Diogo Costa from Porto is likely the starter. He's a really exciting player and one who I think will have a great tournament. May even change the outcome of certain matches. He's a penalty kick stopping specialist. He has great distribution, kind of a modern goalkeeper, which Portugal have badly needed. So I think he easily starts for us. Then we'll have João Cancelo on the right, Pepe and Ruben Dias in defense, Nuno Mendes on the left. And then in that three-man midfield, I think it's probably going to be Real Betis's William Carvalho and Wolverhampton's Ruben Neves, the two holding mids. which will kind of be hybrid number 8s, or the kind of box to box role. And then we'll have Bruno Fernandes in the center from Manchester United. In the front 3, likely Bernardo Silva on the right, Cristiano Ronaldo as the striker, and Rafael Leao on the left. And that's how I think we'll line up against Ghana.
Tasty. Does sound like a team full of creativity, and it could be a joy to watch, hopefully. Okay, so there is another game going on in your Group H, Uruguay versus South Korea. What do you think will happen in that game, but what do you want to happen in that game?
That's a good question. I think Uruguay will win that match. I look at some of their up-and-coming talents, and they have a lot going on in midfield. So obviously, a lot of the focus will be on Federico Valverde, Madrid. But I think from top to bottom, that team actually looks structurally sound. They do have some aging strikers. That's a concern. But I think ultimately they'll overwhelm South Korea. South Korea is a really hard-working team, but they lack some of the standout technical players that I think they'll need to break down Uruguay. I would be content to see a draw in that match, because I think it'll make both teams a little bit more desperate coming into the second game. But I think Uruguay will win.
Yeah, good coverage on that one. Okay, and then finally the money question right here: Portugal, Ghana. What's your score prediction for that one coming into it?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough game, back and forth game. I think there'll be chances on both sides. I'm looking at a 2-1 victory for Portugal.
Appreciate that. Thanks again for, of course, giving up a bit of your time. And, of course, hopefully we'll be chatting long into this World Cup, as, of course, kickoff for Portugal is just around the corner. Appreciate your time again. And you guys out there, make sure you smash your subscribe, smash your thumbs up, smash the little bell. We've got non-stop coverage right here at Blackburn Overseas, from, of course, fan chats, expert chats, reactions, reviews, previews, cats even out there doing our thing, of course. But make sure you check all of it right here at Blackburn Overseas.